Welcome to the Pylon to Pylon podcast, where we love football and hate your opinion. Joined always by your host, Skyler Burkhart, and co-host today, Austin Verzoko. How's it going, Austin?
Good, Skyler. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. Co-host Donnie and Richie are actually in Mobile, Alabama right now at the Senior Bowl, covering all the latest around there. If you guys want to catch that, you can join us on our Twitter page at the PTP Podcast, and they'll be back next week to kind of bring you more recaps. But if you're on the Twitter page, you'll be seeing the live updates. They actually got John Gruden today and Kyle Shanahan, a couple other things in there. So definitely go check that out if you're looking for some college players coming up, leading up to the NFL draft. We got a lot of things coming ahead for you guys for this episode. It's going to be a little shorter, but we're going to start off kind of recapping last week's games. What was the score of the AFC Championship game, Austin? Let's go over that.
The AFC Championship game was 37-31, final overtime, Patriots win.
Versus?
The Chiefs.
That was a really good game. This was the late night game, and I was completely shocked they went to overtime, considering that the Rams and Saints also went to overtime as well. But there was a lot of controversy over the NFL refs, and with this game, we saw a big play that kind of sparked a lot of controversy.
Well, it was even more so in the Saints-Rams game in overtime, 26-23. Rams beat the Saints, but there was that missed PI call with about a minute 40 to go on the Rams, Nickel Roby-Coleman.
Yeah. And we'll get to that in just a moment. I want to go over the one on Tom Brady that everyone's upset about with the roughing the passer, where Chris Jones came over the middle and slapped, basically kind of checked his chest, basically, when he came over the lineman after Tom Brady had thrown it, and they called that a roughing the passer call. What do you think on that?
Well, and the analyst that they had for CBS that was in the booth with them said that he understands why the ref threw the flag due to the fact that the angle that he had, he can kind of see the head jerk, even though Chris Jones never hit him in the head. And he said that's the reason why that flag was thrown, even though without the ref clearly seeing it, it shouldn't have been thrown. But that's the reasoning that he gave for the roughing the passer call being thrown out there.
There was another one in the game where Tom Brady threw the interception. I think it was on the same play, actually, where he threw the interception. They went back and they called offsides. I think it was. No,
that was later in the game.
Yeah,
that was later in the game on D Ford.
Yeah, on D Ford, and he clearly lined up offsides. I don't know why Chiefs fans are really upset about it. If you go back and watch it, he's clearly like a few inches over the line of where the ball is.
I'd be upset at D Ford. That's simple football right there.
And Andy Reid even came out and said, we were that close. We were one offsides off from being in the Super Bowl. And it's true. That interception would have sealed the game, and that was it. But one mental mistake changed the whole part of the game.
Yep.
And Chiefs fans were like, oh, let's replay the game. I'm like, no, you guys screwed it yourself. There's no replay the game.
Chiefs are not saying to replay the game.
There's a couple. They are actually like, oh, we should replay the game, kind of mocking, kind of going off of what the Saints are trying to do. But there's no way they replay the game. They shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, that was their own fault.
Going on to the Saints and Rams. Final score in that, Austin, real quick?
26-23 Rams in overtime. This was the first time that both games have gone to overtime.
Ever.
In the championship series, yes.
Both good games.
Yeah,
with
both
this
were
game,
fantastic.
Obviously, I was happy for it because the Rams got the win. They're now going to the Super Bowl. But I mean, there's no disrespect to Saints fans out there. If you guys are listening, there was plenty of opportunities for you guys to take in this game, even with the penalty happening at the end. Like I said, the Saints obviously would have won it, but there was plenty of penalties previously in the game that could have changed the momentum, even for the Rams. There was a lot of face mask penalties. There was unsportsmanlike conduct that was not called as well. There was a lot of things that could have changed the outcome of this game. We can't just focus on that one. We go back and change that face mask on Goff when he went for the run to the end zone. I mean, that could have been Rams at 3 more points. Saints get that call. If you want to go ahead and play that into factor as well, it's still tied again, and we go into overtime.
Well, I mean, the way that you have to look at it, I didn't see the one that you're talking about on the run. The other face mask call that you're referring to on Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
They ended up scoring off of that anyways because they're on the 4-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
But that one PI call at the very end of the game, that dictated the end of the game.
And I heard from the ref side of it, too, where they said from their angle, it looked like a bang-bang play. And also, no.
Are you serious? They said that?
There was one ref that said that, and there was another one that said the trajectory of the ball when it came out, and I saw the video, it was kind of misleading because it's hard to break down that film. When he got over the ball got over the line, it looked like it was either Brockers or Sue, one of the two, had tipped the ball, and it made the ball kind of wobble. And that's, since it's tipped, then that's why they did the no call.
Yeah, but you still have helmet to helmet.
I know, but that's what I heard from the ref side of it. So,
well, the referee committee said that there was no excuse of why they missed that. That was blatantly PI and also helmet to helmet.
The refs gave their explanation, but there's definitely no excuse for that. I'm not going to say that it shouldn't have been called. Definitely should have been, but we can't ignore all the previous mistakes that have been made through the playoffs and also through regular season as well.
The referees?
Yeah, the refs.
That has to be up there with the Fail Mary and the tuck roll.
Like the one with Kamara, the Saints and the Steelers. Steelers could be in the playoffs right now and fighting for a spot in the AFC to even get to the championship.
What happened with the Steelers?
Kamara, they got the PI call on Kamara in the end zone, and that set them up at the 1. Instead of them being over, getting to 4th down, the Steelers have a chance to get another drive in.
I'm not familiar with that call.
I'll have to catch up with it. But, I mean, there's a lot of different bad calls throughout the season. And should they make it reviewable in the future?
Well, I think, because some people are calling for should they make it reviewable all the time? Should it be reviewable in the last 2 minutes? I definitely think they should open up challenges to penalties. I don't think that... I don't think it should just be automatically booth reviewed. You want to keep the speed of the game relatively quick like they have it now.
You don't want to dumb it down too much.
Well, no, not the fact of dumbing it down, the speed of the game. You don't want a game to take, instead of 3 hours, taking 4 hours now because every penalty you have to stop, review it, stuff like that. It's not like where you have touchdowns that need to be reviewed every play, because that is a major factor right there. And coaches were burning a lot of challenges on what should have been an obvious touchdown. I think, however, though, making it to where you can throw a challenge flag on a roughing the passer call or a blatant PI call, you can't make it open to any and all penalties because...
Very selective in your options.
Yeah, because you could call holding on any and every play, but it just depends on what's going on.
McVay would win every challenge if he threw it on Aaron Donald.
Well, and then you also have, bang bang pass interference calls where if you watch it in super slow-mo, it's... the defender gets there a split second early, but in live action, it looks like he gets there as the ball's arriving. So that's why I think, in the Tom Brady situation, they could have challenged that and reviewed it and gotten that penalty overturned because he clearly did not hit the head of Tom Brady. And same thing with that. The defensive pass interference would have been reviewable by the booth. I think that was my next point. Under 2 minutes, they should be reviewed as well.
I heard Mike Pereira, he used to be ex-vice president, came on Doug and Wolf earlier on the sports radio for Arizona Sports and said he thought about they should add a 8th official onto the field so they'd be able to delegate and also give another set of eyes out there as well.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would think that an 8th official would be fine. You cannot hurt with having too many eyes out there, but this is clearly becoming a problem with the NFL, especially because both championship games had pretty big penalties. One obviously way bigger than the other, but it definitely is something that the NFL needs to look into and address and get fixed, rather than having the legacy of the league tarnished because of this. Because who knows what happens if the Saints get that call, they're in the Super Bowl, and same thing with the Chiefs. If they get that roughing the passer call, maybe they get off the field and the Chiefs make it to the Super Bowl. You never know.
You definitely don't know. And another take on it would be, should they even replay the game? A lot of Saints fans are coming out saying they should replay the game, and they're trying to, I forget what article it is, but they're going off and saying you should use this and commissioners should use their power to make them come back and replay the last 2 minutes of the game.
Well, yeah, to make it short, it basically says that the commissioner has the power to overturn the ruling of a game, replay of a game, or replay from the certain point of a like a super bad call or like a disaster. And I think that rule is more so referring to like a terrorist attack or
taken out of context.
Yeah, it's not for a blatant official missed call. I think you can fix blatant missed calls by officials by simply fining them huge amounts of dollars, like you do players for having the same things where they violate their terms of the league, where they, like, say if you get a rough and passer call, you can get fined like $15,000 for a first offense. But to replay the game would be foolish. It's not like that pass interference call happened as time was running out when they couldn't have done anything. The Saints could have done more to win that game, but
It's not like they had more opportunities. You know, they had plenty of opportunities this game.
They had more as the game went, because clearly they still had the defensive drive to keep the Rams from kicking the field goal to tie, and then they had the offensive drive in OT and the defensive drive in OT.
Yep.
And didn't do enough to win it. So to say to replay the game, nah.
It's not enough. I mean, and then if you want to be a Rams fan in the argument of it, you should put it back to the face mask call that was blatantly missed where Goff could have made it into the end zone. You can bring it back to that point. Rams could have went up even further. There's so much arguments for this, and I think it just needs to be forgotten about. Obviously, Saints fans are scoring by it and some NFL fans, and they're even petitioning not to watch the Super Bowl. I think is a bunch of bull. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it, but don't go out there and force others not to watch it just because you didn't believe in the outcome of the game.
You have every right to watch the Super Bowl or not watch the Super Bowl. Watch it or don't. I don't care.
Don't make a fuss about it. Keep it to yourself. We don't care. We already know what happened.
You can make a fuss about it. I really don't care. I'm going to watch the Super Bowl.
Because it's fun to watch. You want to see. It's history.
The last game of the season for 6 months. I'm going to want to watch it.
Exactly. Staying on top of the games, both of them went to overtime, but a lot of argument was made for the overtime rules. Should there be changes to that where both teams get an opportunity to score without sudden death?
Well, I mean, I feel like there's just needs to be some tweaks made to OT. I don't like how the Patriots basically were able to just drive down the field, score a touchdown, and the game was over. I feel like both teams should get the possession of the ball regardless of what happens, and say how the Patriots scored right away. If the Chiefs don't score, then it's game over. I really like how college football has their overtime system because it's take it from the 30-yard line, 40-yard line, and score. And whether you do field goal or touchdown, and then you can't kick field goals or you can't kick extra points, one of the two.
You can kick the field goal because if you don't get the first down, you're able to kick it from that spot, which is a 50 or 60-yard field goal.
It'd be a 57 if it's from the 40.
Yeah, so it'd be a 57-yard field goal. You get that one last hurrah to make it in. Otherwise, it goes to the other team or you win vice versa.
I think college has it set up best because after a full-blown 60-minute game, no team's defense is rested and ready to go out there and play no matter how good they are.
And if you're thinking about player safety as well, that plays into it.
Well, yeah, and then some people are calling for they should play another half of football and make it fair and everything like that.
Another whole quarter I saw too. Will you play a whole nother 15 minutes?
That's too much because think about it this way. I mean, I think regular season is fine the way it is.
Yeah, definitely.
It's fine the way it is in the regular season because if you can't score within the first 15-minute period, it should be a tie. I do not believe in extending it any further because you then risk player safety, not only that week, but weeks going further. But in the playoffs, you have to have your best team advance. So I feel like they need to make those small changes in the playoffs to be able to let them not be dictated by a coin flip. Because that's essentially what happened in the Patriots-Chiefs game. Rams-Saints, I think that would have ended just the way it was if you made the small tweaks and not going to the full-blown college rules. Yep. But that should have been ended at that point. But the Rams-Chiefs should not have been disqualified from the Super Bowl due to a gas defense after playing 60 minutes and losing a coin flip that they didn't even get to pick heads or tails.
Yeah. I mean, there's minor changes needed for these overtime rules. Very simple, as I said.
Well, what would you do?
I'd probably go the college rules. That made the most sense. I heard that on the radio today, and I thought, that makes sense. College has it right. And the argument... It was Mark Pereira again, said that why is college advancing and NFL is stumbling? College is making the steps to make the game better, and NFL is kind of stumbling at this point.
Well, you got to remember, college is also innovating right now. They have that playoff system that they just implemented because they were ages and ages and ages upon.
Yeah, they were
because having a committee vote on the 1 and 2 teams to play for the championship game, and even then, I think the college football system, as our viewers would know, I think it's broken still today. I don't know. I feel like the NFL is still innovating. It's just not. It's not. They're not willing to make a major change like college has done.
No, definitely. Kind of make a joke about this. I showed you this before. If none of you guys seen it, go out on Twitter and find it. Drake posted all the 4 playoff teams saying, "Good luck next week, guys," or "Good luck this weekend," and it had. From the bottom of his shirt going diagonal up to the other side, it was Saints, Chiefs, Patriots, Rams. And people are saying the Drake curse is still alive because the bottom team was the Saints. They had the first game. They lost first. Next game, Chiefs lost. So in the next chronological order, however he has it set up on the shirt, it's Patriots and Rams. So if we're staying true to the Drake curse, Patriots lose and Rams are winning the Super Bowl. What do you think of that, Austin?
I think the curse is stupid, but
it is stupid because
you're just grasping at straws now. Like not you, but people who want the curse.
Social media, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But how funny would it be if it turned out that way? And it's funny that Drake's playing along with it because he knows it's in good spirit, but every shirt he's freaking worn for whatever team he goes to support, they have lost. I feel bad for those teams because it's like it does seem like he is screwing them.
Nothing he can do, man. I mean, that'd be like
not show up, don't wear the shirt.
That'd be like if you didn't wear a Rams shirt because every time you wore your special Rams shirt, they lost.
How did you know?
Like, I have a buddy who is very superstitious. He has a Bill Belichick Patriots jacket.
Oh no!
He's gonna be wearing on Sunday. That every time he's worn it, they've never lost.
He must be the luckiest dude to be wearing it coincidentally when they win.
He won it when they came back down 28-3. He almost took it off. I told him, don't take it off. That thing's lucky, and sure enough.
That's crazy. That should have been on Twitter. That would have been a good story to have out in there. Or even on social media. Next thing. Let's go over to the different bowl game. Let's go over to the Pro Bowl. I know that's coming up this weekend. We're not going to touch too much on it just because it is the Pro Bowl, but there's a lot of issues still with it. They had the skills position back, the skills challenge. That was last year.
That is great that they brought that back.
I love that because I loved watching the old school Pro Bowl games. You get those competitions against players, see which ones, who has the best hands or all the little fun games like dodgeball they had this year. I thought that was innovative. Not last year, sorry, but it was still innovative.
Dodgeball was fun to watch. I don't know. The Pro Bowl in itself, though, is just... You see, I think it's the QB for the Pro Bowl on the NFC side. I think they're down to, their fourth or fifth person.
They have Dak. They brought Dak. They brought Dak and Trubisky into the Pro Bowl now since Goff and Breeze are no longer in it. That's not the best of the best the NFC has to offer.
No, and that's why the Pro Bowl should... I know they want to have it in between this 2-week gap between the end of the season... Or not end of the season, end of the championship game weekend and the Super Bowl because they give two weeks for teams to get healthy for the Super Bowl and prep and have the best game that they can have all season. But come on, if you look at the two Pro Bowl rosters, you'll be like, oh, okay, well, those guys definitely don't deserve to be there, and so definitely does to be over that person, but they're not playing because of a quote unquote injury or because they just bowed out.
Antonio Brown. What? Sorry. Oh. But
that's your opinion. You do whatever you want.
But what's the solution for it then? What's the solution to make the Pro Bowl more interesting, or even just to get the best players out there?
More money.
More money?
Yeah, more money.
I thought they raised it a couple of years back. I have to double check on that, but I'm pretty sure they raised the money. I just don't think it's enough for incentive. I don't think money's the motivation for the Pro Bowl game because they think it's just we get together in either Florida or Hawaii and we bring all our family and we just have fun and we goof off in a game that's high scoring.
Yeah, but I mean, they do make incentives winning and losing. They still get paid for being in the Pro Bowl. I think they need to up that incentive. The only thing is it's hard to do that when that Pro Bowl doesn't get enough money as it is because it's one of the lower watched games because fans like you and I see it as a joke, especially when you see the fan voting. You're like, come on.
I think they should lower. If you lose, it only covers your cost of getting there and your family, and just enough just to get them for a little mini vacation. It'd be significantly less than what they're getting paid. And then you have the winners; they're getting double or triple the money because they actually played to win.
Well, what if you lower down the say if there's clearly a balance of power, it's not aligned, and say the NFC is way better than the AFC for just exemplary reasons. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't AFC players then be more likely to decline because I just get a $5,000 vacation out of it, and I'm an NFL superstar. I can pay that whenever I want.
I feel like if you turn it down, you lose your Pro Bowl vote. That doesn't go on your resume where it's you were voted to the Pro Bowl. Do you still get that nomination? Say Aaron Rodgers, who bowed out because of his knee injury, does he still get a Pro Bowl for this season? Really? It's stupid. It doesn't make sense to me. So they still get that title. I think it should be revoked. If you decline, it's all right, you don't get nominated that you're going to have to go to the Pro Bowl. It goes to the next person. You can't get it back.
I agree with that.
That also would be more incentive.
Because if you don't go to the game, you shouldn't get the nomination.
Just like how in basketball, if you don't get on the all-pro team or something like that, you lose incentives for your regular contract. So that
It's the same in the NFL.
It is?
Yeah.
So that would be a good incentive then for the NFL. Because if you don't get your Pro Bowl vote, well, you had to hit this many Pro Bowls within your contract, otherwise you don't get your bonus.
It's just a yearly thing.
But still, that would be a good incentive.
I do agree, though, that they should not get the accolade of being a Pro Bowl player. That if they didn't play in the game, they shouldn't get the accolade.
Yep.
And I think that if they raise the money involved for the winning team, the losing team should still get some sort of compensation because you made it to the Pro Bowl.
I think Super Bowl, if you were voted and you have to go to Super Bowl, I think there's an exception there, though.
Yeah, the Super Bowl obviously is an exception as long as it's played before the Super Bowl. If they move the Pro Bowl, which I think would be stupid.
Yeah.
Because nobody watches it because football's over with after the Super Bowl.
That's why they changed it.
Yeah,
it was after.
But that's the only exception I would still give the nomination to. Like Jared Goff and Todd Gurley.
Yeah. I mean, Jared Goff, Todd Gurley, Patriots. I don't remember if anyone the Patriots got.
They have a couple Pro Bowlers on there. Stephon Gilmore.
Oh, yeah, All-Pro Stephon Gilmore. He played lights out this year.
I believe Tom Brady was also one.
If you guys also have an opinion for how to fix the Pro Bowl, I'll be posting here on Twitter for you guys to express your opinion, how you would fix the Pro Bowl and fix the incentives even. Like, any thoughts you have, leave it on there for us. I'll post that here shortly. And even email us. If you have comments, concerns, anything about the podcast, you can always email us at theptppodcast@gmail.com. Our Twitter page is at theptppodcast. You can follow us on Instagram at the same, or the Pylon to Pylon Podcast on Facebook. Catch us on iTunes, Spreaker, SoundCloud, really anywhere. I mean, we're trying to get iTunes. I mean, iHeartRadio, but we need more people to get on us. Definitely leave comments, like, and rate us on iTunes. We definitely want those 5-star ratings. Or if you hate us, leave the comments too. Don't do that, please. No, but guys, we got a few more things to cover. We also have statement games. We're doing that again. We got coverage for the Super Bowl. It's the whole new expansion of fantasy football. It's a new way to experience it. So jump on it. StatementGames.com. We'll be doing the Patriots and Rams game. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me, Donnie, or Richie. They'll be more than happy to answer those questions, or even the podcast email. You guys will be able to win a Starbucks gift card off of that. And it'll be fun. I love it. Austin, you like doing it too. I mean, you've done it a couple times. I've lost to you. You've lost to me. We've had our fair share.
I've never lost to you. Don't try to say that stuff. I beat you in the only one that we were head to head, and that was the Packers Rams.
We've done more than that. I'd have to go back, but I know I beat you at least once. And you beat me once.
I've beaten you many a times.
Many a times.
Many a times. I'd be willing to bet you on this podcast I'd outdo you in the Super Bowl.
Really?
Bet you I do better than you in the Super Bowl.
All right. Well, if you guys want to join in on us, we're going to go on statement games. It should be posted tomorrow. I'll keep you guys posted on as well. And make your predictions for the games, the over-under, passing yards, touchdowns, all that good stuff. And hopefully I'll be beating the snot out of Austin and taking the trophy of Super Bowl prediction.
That'd be the only trophy the Rams take home that night.
Oh, I see how that is. Rude.
So with that, guys, that's going to be the end of the PTP podcast for this week. We decided not to touch on the Super Bowl topics this week just due to the fact that we still have an episode next week, much closer to the Super Bowl. We'll be touching up on that. We'll be touching up with Donnie and Richie on our college episode next week about their experiences at the Senior Bowl. And we'll see you all next week. Have a great rest of your day. This is Austin Frizzoka signing off as a co-host with my other co-host,
Skyler Burkhart. Also, check us on Twitter. Austin and Richie, Donnie and Richie are going to be posting everything from the Senior Bowl. If you want to catch up any college football or draft recap, that's your place to go to our webpage.
Ooh, real quick, should Austin make a Twitter? Let PTP know.
Yeah, thanks. Definitely let us know. If you want to hear about Austin on Twitter as a Packers fan, let us know. But that's going to be it for us this week. Signing off, Skyler Burkhart.
Austin Frizzoka.
Have a great one, guys.